But is it the easiest NBA Finals run that we have seen? Right? So they are currently, what is that? 12-2. 4-1, 4-1. Yeah, so they are currently 12-2 entering the NBA Finals. Right? In the first round, they battled a Miami Heat that didn't have Jimmy Butler. And to be honest, I don't think those guys beat them even with Jimmy Butler. So that just makes it really bad. Cleveland, they played 4-1. They beat 4-1. Donovan Mitchell was out after like game 3 or some shit, or game 3 to 5. So he was out. And they also have no Imani Bates. And let's be honest, that Cleveland team is just, they're young. They have talent, but they're young. They just not there yet. And then obviously the Indiana Pacers, they just swept. And it's an Indiana Pacers team that's been missing Tyrese Halliburton since, what is that? Since game 3, so 3 and 4, or since game 2. So talk about a team that just played against injuries. And then when you look at the rest of the East, right, they were supposed to play against the Milwaukee Bucks with Damian Lillard and Giannis. Embiid got hurt for the Philadelphia 76ers. And then a New York Knicks team where half of the roster was, in the hospital, walking to the arena. And so we didn't get a full Eastern Conference that we should have, right? Where we saw the Boston Celtics and all of these guys get really tested. And so when you talk about the easiest runs, let's at least look at 2, right? Which is the 2001. Let's start first. The 2001 Lakers, right? This is topic. All right. So, right, the 2001 right, so the 2001 LA Lakers, right? 3-0 against the Portland Trailblazers. We'll take a look at all these guys. 4-0 against the Sacramento Kings. 4-0 against the Spurs. And then we don't have to look at Philadelphia because Boston would have to win the finals first. But in terms of the path to the NBA Finals, they swept their conference, right? Yeah, Portland, especially in that time. And not to say they weren't a bad team. 50 wins, right? If we look at the fucking playoffs for this team, Kobe averaged 29.4 and Shaq averaged 30.4. Right? Oh, and by the way, Shaq is 28, Kobe is 22 at the time. Let's keep that in mind, right? Dog, when I tell you 31, 35, 36, 32, 38, 31, 34, 33, 30, this is an old-ass team. With a 26-year-old Rasheed Wallace. Like, solid team. Don't get me wrong. Solid team. Scottie is old as fuck. There isn't a legitimate number one superstar player on this roster at this point in time. So, yes, 3-0. Easy. Sacramento Kings, 55-27. you had a Chris Webber at 27, Page at 23. Doug Christie was getting a little bit older. Jason Williams was only 25. Turkoglu's 21. You had two guys scoring 20 a game, but let's be honest, Peja Stojakovic and Kobe Bryant, especially us looking back at their careers now, like, Peja was a very good player and obviously was getting buckets, but he's not Kobe Bean Bryant. And Chris Webber, as great as he was just never Shaq. So their duo was just for fuck everybody else, right? I mean, the highest point per game they had other than that was 10.8, and that's just a problem. But yeah, you guys just fall short in terms of talent. The San Antonio Spurs, 58 and 24 in 2000-2001. What were they looking like? 24.4 Duncan, David Robinson. Holy shit. He was 35 already. Tim Duncan, 24, young as hell, don't know shit about shit. Antonio Daniels, young role player. Yeah, this team, in comparison to 30 and 29, which is what those two guys were putting up, it's just a different thing, right? And I guess the only other team that we could really compare it to would be the 16-17 is the Warriors of the 2016-17 season, where we saw them play against Portland. And hey, listen, Draymond Green, I didn't say this shit. Draymond Green was the one that called this team a fluke, even though they had two young all-stars getting buckets. They didn't, Evan Turner's, he's always been a solid player, but in terms of running against the Warriors, I don't know if he could be your third best player. Or Al-Farouq Aminu, Draymond already said this was a fluky ass team, so trash. So obviously these guys are no good. The Utah Jazz, I mean, dog, where is this? Do you see this fucking team right now? Against the Golden State George Hill is your second best player. Gordon Hayward is your best. Like, bro, what are we dead ass right now? And then the San Antonio Spurs, but like, Kawhi's 25. LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't think he was ever comfortable in San Antonio. And then Tony Parker's old. Manu Ginobili's 39. It's just not the same team that it was before, right? So, is the Boston Celtics run the easiest in history? You see, because of the injuries, I would have to say yes. Right? Because here's the thing. I'm talking about the Lakers in 2000, 2001. I would say that their path was probably a little bit more difficult off the simple fact of, like, the fucking Utah Jazz is who the Warriors went up with in the second round. Are you dead ass? And they went against a legitimate Sacramento Kings team and a Spurs team that had, one of the best players ever. Right? The best power forward ever, actually. And those guys just ran into Kobe and Shaq. I think the easiest would have to be the Boston Celtics. The easiest path to an NBA Finals. followed by the Warriors, and then I guess the Lakers. Because like I said, the injuries that the teams have had against the Boston Celtics, like, it would have been an easy path already, right? Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler, Cleveland with Imani Bates and Donovan. Like, it was still going to be an easy path, even with those guys playing. And they didn't have those guys. And I saw some people debating if this is the most dominant NBA Finals run. Are you fucking kidding me? We must not know what the word, like, they were dominant against Miami. They were pretty dominant against Cleveland. They were down damn near every game against the Indiana Pacers. So let's just hold up, right? Let's just hold the fuck up. Because that Lakers team, like, bruh. And, you know, I guess only one of the series was like that for this Boston Celtics team. So, not like they weren't a dominant team, but teams with injuries, they should be perfect going into the finals right now. I guess that's why I kind of knock it off a little bit. Like, they shouldn't have even given a game to the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's why, in my opinion, I knocked them off a little bit when it comes to the dominance. Because both the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors were perfect going into the NBA Finals. And that was the only time, that's the only series where they dropped the game, was against the best team in the other conference. So, easiest run to the finals, I think, yeah. And then the most dominant, no, I would not say that the Boston Celtics have had the most dominant run yet.